Let's look at the sentences from chapter 30. Number 1. Rogavit ubi illi duae discipuli digni haec didicesint. He asked. Rogavit. That's it. The rest, ubi, all the way to the subjunctive, is what construction? We have a verb of questioning, and then we have an interrogative where? Indirect question. He asked where those two students, worthy ones, those two worthy students, didicesint, third person, plural, pluperfect, active, subjunctive. And this is your direct object. He asked where those two worthy students had learned these things. Notice your sequence of tenses. He asked, already in a secondary sequence, your main verb, secondary sequence. Your choice of the clause is either imperfect or pluperfect. That's it. And given that this is already an act in the past, given that the learning happened before the questioning, we don't need the imperfect, we want the pluperfect. He asked where those two worthy students had learned these things. Number 6. Ceteri quidem nesciebant quam acris esset mens natae eorum. The rest nesciebant. They did not know quam, how bitter, how sharp, esset was the mind of the daughter, genitive singular feminine, of them, or their. Little forced translation because I want to keep the same word order in Latin just to let you know, just so you don't get lost. We'll make it a little better in just a second. The rest, indeed, did not know, third person plural, imperfect, active indicative. But notice I'm keeping the same word order. The rest, indeed, did not know how sharp the mind of their daughter was. The only modification in the English is moving that subjunctive, that imperfect subjunctive. Okay? Third person singular, imperfect, active, subjunctive, because you know it's the imperfect because the ending is right on that second principal part. Let's look at the sequence of tenses. It is a primary sequence because the imperfect goes with the primary. It's not fully the past, and the book talks about that. So our choices in the primary are the imperfect or the perfect, and given that the not knowing and the sharpness of the mind was happening at the same time, our choice is the imperfect. The rest indeed did not know how sharp, how keen was the mind of their daughter. 8. Jam cognoi cur clara facta vero non sint facilima. Lot in this one. Already I know cur. Why? Indirect question. We have a knowing and then we have a question. Well, I know why. So we have an indirect question. I know why the famous deeds indeed are not the easiest. Notice this is that irregular form of the superlative degree. We've got a couple things there. Irregular form of the superlative. And then we have the third plural present active subjunctive in the indirect question.